Welcome to Dopamine Clinic, the place where you'll unlock the secrets of your mind and transform your life. It's 6:30 a.m. You wake up, but instead of starting your day the way you planned, you reach for your phone. The screen lights up, and before you even have time to think about it, your fingers start scrolling through the feed. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, each one loaded with updates, likes, notifications, and new posts. Minutes turn into hours, and before you know it, it's almost time to leave for school, and you've spent most of the morning lost in a world of images, videos, and distractions. You tell yourself, just 5 more minutes, but those 5 minutes stretch into half an hour, then an hour. You don't even notice it happening. It's automatic now. It's like your brain is on autopilot. But what's actually happening? Why do you keep coming back for more? Why is it so hard to put your phone down, even when you know you have things to do? The answer is simple but unsettling: dopamine. The dopamine rush, how social media hijacks your brain. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter in your brain, often called the feel-good chemical. It's the same chemical that gets released when you eat your favorite food, receive a compliment, or even get a new like on a post. Dopamine rewards you for seeking out pleasurable experiences. It's a survival mechanism. It encourages you to do more of what feels good. Social media platforms are designed to exploit this. Each time you scroll through your feed, you get a hit of dopamine. A new post, a new notification, a like, a comment, it's all a trigger. It feels good. It feels like you're connecting with people, even if it's just through a screen. But here's the thing, while it feels good in the moment, it's also setting you up for failure. How the cycle of instant gratification works. Let's break it down. You pick up your phone and you scroll. You see a funny video, a meme, maybe a celebrity post. Your brain rewards you with dopamine. It's instant gratification. A small hit that feels nice. It's easy. It's fast. It's designed to pull you in. And that's the problem. Because over time, your brain starts to rely on these instant rewards. The more you scroll, the more your brain expects that hit. Your body starts craving the next like, the next comment, the next new post. It's like a drug. Every time you scroll, your brain gets a little buzz. But here's the catch. Real life doesn't work like that. You can't expect instant gratification in everything you do. Learning, growth, and success take time. They take patience, effort, and focus, things that social media undermines. Real-life example, the cycle of procrastination. Let me introduce you to Alex, a 17-year-old high school student. Alex is bright and has big dreams, but every day, his mind is consumed by the constant pull of his phone. It starts with a quick check on TikTok. A few minutes in, he watches one funny video, then another, then another. He laughs, feels good. But then he looks at the time. An hour has passed. He realizes he should be working on his homework for a big exam in a few days. But instead of opening his textbook, Alex checks his social media again. Just one more scroll, he tells himself. He'll get to studying in a bit. But as he scrolls, his mind becomes more and more drained. Each post gives him a little burst of dopamine, but it doesn't last long. He can't seem to focus, and by the time he finally puts the phone down, he's too exhausted mentally to dive into his schoolwork. He procrastinates once again. This happens every day. The cycle continues. Alex's homework piles up, and the stress begins to grow. He knows he's wasting time. He's frustrated. He feels stuck. But why can't he break free? The truth about distraction. What Alex doesn't realize is that every time he gives in to that instant gratification, every time he checks his phone, he's rewiring his brain to prioritize distractions. His brain becomes less able to focus on long-term tasks. Social media has hijacked his attention. What feels like a harmless habit is actually teaching his brain that it's better to seek out short bursts of pleasure rather than focusing on something meaningful or challenging. The same thing is happening to millions of people. You see it in teenagers everywhere. Whether it's on their phones, gaming consoles, or even TV, they're constantly bombarded with stimuli that promise quick rewards. But in the process, they're losing their ability to focus on the things that matter. Important tasks, relationships, and goals all take a back seat to the ever-present pull of distractions. Why you can't focus on school, work, or your goals. Here's why this matters. Your brain has limited resources. Every time you focus on something, your brain has to allocate energy to it. But when you split your focus when you're constantly checking your phone, replying to messages, and watching videos, your brain gets overwhelmed. This mental overload creates what's called cognitive fatigue. When you sit down to focus on something important, like studying or working on a personal project, your brain is already drained from constant distractions. You may find yourself unable to focus for long periods. You might feel restless or anxious. You might even give up early because your brain has already been overstimulated by all the distractions. What's happening? That your brain is becoming addicted to the small, quick hits of dopamine that come from social media, and it starts to view deep, focused work as less rewarding. Over time, this makes it harder to focus on important things. The long-term impact: anxiety, stress, and disconnection. But the damage doesn't stop there. The constant distraction from social media creates long-term effects on your mental health. You might feel disconnected from reality. You might experience anxiety or depression because, in the back of your mind, you know you're not being productive. But the distraction is comforting. It keeps you from facing the overwhelming pressure of real life. Let's take Emma, for example. Emma is a college freshman who used to love reading books. But since she started spending more time on social media, she finds it difficult to sit down and focus on a novel. Her mind races. She feels restless after a few pages. Social media has rewired her brain to seek out shorter, more engaging stimuli. Reading a book, something that takes effort, now feels like a chore. And it's not just about productivity. This constant need for instant gratification starts to take a toll on relationships as well. When you're constantly connected to your phone, it's hard to have meaningful conversations with friends, family, or partners. The emotional connection you once had with those around you starts to fade, replaced by the hollow, virtual interactions on your screen. Why do we keep going back? You might wonder, why do I keep going back if I know it's not helping me? The answer lies in the way social media is designed to pull you in. It's engineered to keep you engaged, to keep you scrolling, and to keep you hooked. Social media platforms use algorithms to show you content that they know will trigger that dopamine response. The more time you spend on these apps, the more they learn about your preferences and habits, making it even harder to stop. The addictive nature of these platforms isn't your fault. It's a product of the way they were built. They are literally designed to exploit your brain's natural reward system. The breaking point. But you don't have to live like this. You don't have to let your brain be controlled by distractions and the endless cycle of dopamine hits. The first step is awareness. Recognizing that you're stuck in this cycle is the beginning of taking control. Social media is not inherently bad, it's how it's used that matters. You can regain control of your focus, your time, and your life. Now that we've explored how social media hijacks your brain's reward system and destroys your ability to focus, it's time to take control. The dopamine trap is powerful, but it's not unbeatable. By understanding how the brain works and using the tools available to you, you can break free from this cycle of instant gratification and regain your focus, productivity, and overall well-being. Understanding the psychology behind the addiction. To break free from the dopamine trap, you first need to understand the psychology behind it. It's not just about willpower or self-control, it's about rewiring your brain to prioritize long-term satisfaction over short-term pleasure. Social media platforms are designed to trigger dopamine release every time you engage with them. They do this through likes, comments, shares, and endless streams of content. These are all forms of instant gratification, which is exactly what makes them so addictive. In a world where everything is at your fingertips, your brain starts to expect that level of instant reward in everything. But this is where dark psychology comes into play. Dark psychology isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding the inner workings of the mind and using that knowledge to take back control. The first step is learning how your mind reacts to different stimuli and recognizing when you're falling into the trap. The power of delayed gratification. One of the most powerful tools to break free from the dopamine trap is delayed gratification. The ability to resist the urge for instant rewards in favor of something that requires more effort and patience is one of the most important skills for personal growth. It's important to understand that your brain doesn't have to be controlled by instant dopamine hits. You can train it to seek long-term rewards and to find satisfaction in the process, not just the outcome. How do you start? Set boundaries with social media. Create strict time limits for how long you can spend on social media. Use apps like Screen Time on iPhones or Digital Wellbeing on Android to track and limit your usage. You can even set specific hours for checking social media, so you're not mindlessly scrolling during study time, meals, or family gatherings. Break your phone addiction. The keys to make social media less accessible. Turn off notifications, delete apps from your home screen, or move them to the last page of your phone. The more difficult it is for you to reach for your phone, the less likely you are to fall into the trap of mindless scrolling. Building focus through mental reset. Focus is like a muscle. If you don't use it regularly, it weakens. Social media and constant distractions are like mental weights that pull your focus in every direction, making it hard to build the mental strength to concentrate on important tasks. But just like you can strengthen your muscles, you can strengthen your focus by training it. Here's how to do it. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of focusing on the present moment without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, you train your brain to stay focused on what's in front of you, whether it's studying, reading, or simply being present in a conversation. Use the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique is a time management method that helps you break tasks into manageable intervals. You work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. This structured approach helps combat distractions by giving you time to focus and time to recharge. It's like giving your brain little rewards for working hard, which can help break the need for constant external gratification. Create a focused environment. The environment around you plays a big role in your ability to focus. Clear your workspace of distractions, turn off your phone, and set yourself up for success. If you're constantly distracted by your phone buzzing, it's going to be much harder to focus. The more you reduce external stimuli, the easier it will be to focus on the task at hand. The power of routine and habits. The secret to beating the dopamine trap lies in creating habits and routines that support your long-term goals. When you're stuck in a cycle of social media addiction, it's easy to feel like you're constantly busy, but not productive. The key to overcoming this is to replace bad habits with good ones. The best way to do this is through routine. Here's how to build a productive routine. Wake up at the same time every day. Having a consistent wake-up time trains your brain to expect a certain rhythm. You're less likely to sleep in and waste valuable time scrolling through your phone. Use the morning hours to do something productive, like reading, journaling, or exercising, anything that sets the tone for your day. Schedule social media time. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media, schedule specific times throughout the day when you check your feeds. Set an alarm for 15 to 20 minutes, and once that time is up, move on to something else. This prevents you from endlessly scrolling and helps you take control of your time. Incorporate unplugged hours. Make it a point to have certain hours where you don't touch your phone at all during meals, while studying, or before bed. This allows your brain to focus on other things, such as conversations, projects, or relaxation, without the constant ping of notifications. Retraining your brain. The dark psychology of habit formation. Now, let's talk about dark psychology in the context of habit formation. It's not about manipulation or tricking yourself. It's about retraining your brain to seek out the rewards that come from long-term goals rather than short-term pleasures. Your brain will always gravitate towards what it's used to instant gratification, but you can rewire it to seek out deeper rewards by associating positive emotions with long-term goals. For example, every time you resist the urge to check your phone and focus on something meaningful like homework, a personal project, or spending time with loved ones, your brain begins to associate that effort with positive emotions like accomplishment and satisfaction. Over time, your brain starts to prefer the feeling of completion, of working towards a meaningful goal, over the shallow rush of a social media notification, rewiring your reward system. Now that we've learned how to focus and create a productive routine, let's talk about rewiring your reward system. The trick to breaking free from the dopamine trap is to replace bad rewards like social media scrolls with good rewards like self-discipline and progress. Self-acknowledge progress. Celebrate small victories. Finished a task without checking your phone? Reward yourself with something that doesn't involve instant gratification. Go for a walk, grab a healthy snack, or spend time with someone you care about. By focusing on intrinsic rewards like a sense of accomplishment, you reinforce the habit. Track your progress. Keep a journal or use an app to track your daily habits. Seeing the tangible progress you make each day will motivate you to keep going. Just like a fitness tracker shows your physical progress, tracking your mental progress can show you how much focus and productivity you're gaining by breaking free from distractions. The final thought: regaining control. Breaking free from the dopamine trap isn't going to happen overnight. It requires effort, patience, and self-awareness, but it's absolutely possible. By setting boundaries, building habits, and using the principles of dark psychology, you can regain your focus and mental strength. Social media doesn't have to control your life. You can train your brain to seek out long-term satisfaction and focus on what truly matters. And once you do, you'll realize that life without constant distraction is far more rewarding. It's time to stop letting the dopamine trap control your life. Start taking control today and watch as your focus, productivity, and sense of well-being begin to improve. You've got the power to reclaim your mind. Now, make it happen. True power lies in the ability to resist distraction and reclaim your focus.